What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Subclass Sunday. Today we are going to be featuring the Hunter Nightstalker subclass. So this was the newest subclass to be added into Destiny for the Hunter. You had to do the Into the Void, I believe is the name of the quest line, and it came out a little while back now before Taken King, but it is the newest. It wasn't one of the original release subclasses. So it is very interesting to use. A lot of people are really excited about it. I think it still lived up to the hype that a lot of people thought it would. So we'll go right into it with the super. The super is called Shadow Shot. The super, you are shooting a void bow. Kind of interesting. It is as soon as you pull on your action buttons, the L1, R1 for PlayStation, RB, LB for Xbox, you instantly pull out the bow and it shoots. There is no golden gun where you kind of prep it and then you walk around shooting it. As soon as you click it the first time, it will activate. But there is, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but there is, I prefer to use the 3-shot in PvP, so you actually jump into your trigger pull 3 different times. So it activates more like the Titan Slam, but kind of plays like the golden gun in a certain stance. So we'll look at the modifiers for the Shadow Shot. You have Bloodbound, Black Hole, and Quiver. Bloodbound, tether enemies explode when they're killed, and that explosion damage kills any or hurts or kills any other enemies that are inside the tether. Interesting. Black Hole increases range, lasts longer, and tethers more enemies. In my opinion, this is a PvE must-have. And then Quiver fires 3 shadow shots and reduced range, so the tethers won't stick out as far and catch people. I think this is a PvP must-have. But my opinion on this is that, because you can use the Shadow Shot as a aggressive, which is what I do, so you have the 3 shots and you go to kill with it. Or you use the increased range on the tether and you shoot it on a wall near an enemy, and if they're using their super, it will take them out of their super, and if they're trying to pop their super, it won't allow them to pop their super or use grenades or anything like that. So it can be used aggressive or more defense protective. Just kind of depends on how you want to play it. We'll do my full loadout at the end as usual, and I think I've kind of learned the best way I think I like to use it, but maybe it's not how you want to run it. So this is just a little bit of advice, so take what you want, use what you can, don't use what you want, whatever you guys want to do. So the interesting one on this is his melee. So with the Gunslinger, you have a I'll just give it away. So on the Gunslinger, you have your throwing knife, which is very different from a lot of subclasses, not actually a melee. On the Nightstalker, you have a smoke grenade. Smoke grenade can be used, again, offensively or defensively. Offensively, you can use it with one of the abilities called Envenomed. It adds a toxin that damages enemies, which is very, very good in PvP in my opinion. Or you can do it in PvE and use Vanished and Smoke, which makes you invis for a short time, kind of like the Blade Dancer invis. So that one, again, those are the 2 main options. The other modifier is called Snare, allows smoke to stick to surfaces or wait for enemies. That's very campy. I don't advise ever using it. At least personally, I would never say to use it. So it's kind of an interesting mix-up, I guess. It's not a melee, so if you're a meleeer, this probably isn't the best thing for you. You probably need to stick on your Warlock. But it is a way to play, and there is a thing called a wombo combo, as most people kind of call it, where you throw your smoke grenade and your regular grenade, and I mean it's interesting. That's the best I can really put it. You get the grenade to stick people inside the smoke and get the nade to land on their head, and then it kind of eats away at them, and they can't really get out of it. So I hate playing that way. It's kind of cheap, but it's really effective, and a lot of people do it. So kind of to join the crowd sometimes on it. Modifier 3 is Courage of the Pack, Light of the Pack, and Lockdown Grenade. Courage of the Pack, killing tethered enemies increases your recovery and armor. Not terribly useful in my opinion. Light of the Pack, killing enemies drops orbs. This is, again, a must-have, I think, in PvE. PvP, it's hit or miss from PvP. Depends if you play with a group or if you play solo. I do a lot of lone wolf stuff, so I don't really care if I drop orbs for my teammates as much. I prefer the third one, which is the lockdown. Grenades and smoke last twice as long, so You can kind of hold off an area. If you have multiple enemies trying to come through, just lay a grenade at the door, and they can't mess with you for a few minutes or a few seconds. So it's, again, personal preference, whichever you guys prefer. But I think light of the pack, PvE, lockdown PvP every time. Modifiers 4. So we're going to talk about first about the Shade Step. It is the last one you unlock. But really, I don't ever put Shade Step on in my skill tree, because there's only one exotic that is specifically for Shades or for Nightstalker. That is the Graviton Forfeit. It allows Shade Step without having to equip in your skill tree. So I always use that helmet when using this subclass, and I don't use it in the skill tree. So I run Keen Scout, Enhanced Tracker, and marks enemies. So your radar, you have your 360 radar, and you have chunks in it that are very kind of large chunks, maybe like a 16th, 8th, whatever. And they give you a general idea of which direction the enemy is going to be, but it's not very precise. Keen Scout makes them very tiny, like half the size they normally are. So you know, if you want to try to run around the corner on someone and make an aggressive play, you know exactly to the point where they're going to be at. Very, very useful in my opinion. The other one is Predator. Again, this is very campy in my opinion. The void anchors from your bow stick to surfaces and wait for opponents. Again, that's just very laid back. Like, you play that way, you're going to get 5 kills a match kind of gameplay. I'm much more aggressive than that, so I don't see sitting back as a good option in that case, I guess. Personal preference again, but that's how I play it. So really, that's about it for this guy. Oh, his grenades, I almost forgot. So the first grenade you get is the Spike Grenade. It sticks to any surface and mints a void light that damages enemies. This can be very good if used correctly. I am terrible at throwing them. I know they really play just like the Lightning Grenade for the Titans. I can't do it. I've tried again, I failed, I tried again. It's just not good for me. But a lot of people can use them effectively, and if you can, kudos to you. It's a really good grenade. We have the Void Wall Grenade. Creates a horizontal wall of burning light. It can be very good for locking down a hallway, so they have to run through and get tagged by it. But my personal preference is the Vortex Grenades. Hits the ground, makes a big vortex circle that anything walks in gets hit by it. So I think that is very, very useful. But personal preference on your grenade, learn what you like. I can't really tell you what to like. But here then, we're going to go ahead and pop up, not that the reward screen is up, we'll pop up my 2 subclasses, or my 2 loadouts I would run. The first one will be PvP, the second one will be PvE. Use what you want from it. This is my personal preference. I like to do these videos just to kind of give younger players who haven't played a ton somewhat of an idea of how a more veteran player would set stuff up. Maybe you're struggling in certain situations, maybe this can help a little bit. Or maybe you just like hearing my voice. I don't know. Other than that, guys, as the video is finishing up here, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. Subscribe if you guys want to see any more content from me. Likes and comments are always appreciated. Kind of give me a little feedback and know what I'm doing. And other than that, guys, I'll talk to you later, and I hope you have a good one. Bye.